So I got a phone call from John Griffin, the operations manager, one Friday night. As usual, these things happen on a Friday night, they never happen on a Monday morning. And John explained to me that the impounding reservoir feeding Picketlaw Water Treatment Works was uncomfortably low. This meant that we had to be augmented from other supplies. So this was no mean feat, and as it would be, because it was a bit of an emergency, it needed done as soon as possible. However, we had to take a step back and plan to make sure everything was done safely and everything was done in line with the statutory powers that Scottish Water have. The first thing I did was phone our Tier 1 contractor, Mackenzie Construction.
The project started with a Friday afternoon phone call. In fact, it was 5:30 p.m. on a Friday when I received a phone call from Scottish Water. They outlined the nature of the problem and the challenge they faced and asked us for our help and support, which we were obviously delighted to help with. Some of our team immediately visited the site on the Friday, working on late to try and ascertain the full scope of the problem on site and the challenges we face. Working during the course of the weekend, then highlighted the full extent and the scope of the problem, at which point we were fortunate to have our supply chain to call upon.
It was clear we had another mission in our hands, so the first thing we had to do was set up mission control within Mackenzie's office. We had to identify the needs of the mission, identify the people, the plant, the materials that was required. So we had to get this right players in the right place that night. So this meant calling on our supply chain, our subcontractors, everybody we knew within the Scottish Water family to come and help the mission. Players like Xylem, SLD, Gap, Gordon MacLeod Plant Hire, all these people received a phone call that night to come to the cause, and which they did. Well, as the mission progressed, the conditions they changed, they became a lot more diverse, the needs get greater. We need more players, more diverse players, because of it got rained and 4 days into the mission itself. We had to change pipes with bursts every 10 minutes. So the communication became paramount for the amount of people that were involved, the amount of disciplines, the amount of supply chain members involved in this one single goal. Communication was key.
We were originally requested to lay 3.5 kilometres of 6-inch lay-flat hose from Benane Reservoir to Dunwan Reservoir over the Eaglesham Moor and the B764. Unfortunately, there was a requirement for additional flow, which meant we had to install a further 3 lines of lay-flat hose amounting to 9 kilometres of pipework. This additional 9 kilometres of pipework wasn't readily available, for which we had to utilise our supply chain. The requirement was for 7 megalitres of water per day. To meet this requirement, we engaged both SLD and Xylem, who are on the Scottish Water framework, to work together as one team to meet these demands. The collaboration between Scottish Water, Mackenzie Construction and our supply chain meant that we could meet these demands of an emergency situation within a short timescale.
Well, we'd been kind of involved in the the issue some time in advance when the asset planners at Scottish Water were looking at the reducing water levels in reservoirs, so we had a kind of early heads up on it. But matters came to a head and we got called in to install a pump. But it soon became apparent that one pump wasn't going to be enough.
Yes, so Xylem received the call on the Wednesday afternoon, indicating that it was a potential water supply problem. Could we attend a meeting with Mackenzie Construction and meet up with themselves and SLD?
We work closely together. We're both Scottish Water framework suppliers. We're not competitors. We work together to solve these problems. Along with Scottish Water and the other civil engineering partners.
Yes, so certainly I think there are two sort of levels of speciality between the two companies, which give Scottish Water a great deal of coverage, with SLD specialising more on the diesel units and Xylem specialising more so in the submersible units. This particular application lent itself to having an integration of the two different technologies. So we were able to work together to do the calculations to work out exactly what was required, and then we could get the exact pieces of equipment on site that were needed. I think right from the off, from the very first meeting that we had at sort of 2 o'clock on the Wednesday afternoon, there was a real feeling of teamwork. There was a major challenge for Scottish Water, and we had to combat that challenge as a team. Right from the off, there was excellent levels of communication across all the groups and all the teams that were working on the site, and I think the communication really helped with the success of the project.
Yeah, I would echo that. The decision-making process. At the meeting, each individual involved or group was allocated a task to deal with it, from Scottish Water through to Mackenzie Construction, Xylem, and ourselves, SLD. The lines of communication were good. They were short. The people who could make decisions were there, and things happened quickly and efficiently.
We managed to overcome numerous issues, and within a week we'd achieved our task of having 7.5 megalitres of water being transferred to Dunwan and Pounding Reservoir. This mission was an excellent example of all parts of Scottish Water working together, along with our supply chain led by Mackenzie Construction, to a common goal.